Hola estudiantes, este video es sobre mandatos. Mandatos con tú. Mandatos en inglés significa commands. Y tú significa you. So this is how to boss other people around. We're going to learn affirmative to commands and negative to commands to tell people to do something and to tell people not to do something. Let's start with affirmative to commands. Affirmative to commands are formed by taking the usted, el, ella form of the present indicative. The present indicative is the tense that you learned back in Spanish 1. A lot of you guys like to call it the normal tense or the regular tense. So let me give you a couple examples. If I wanted to take the present indicative of the verb hablar, the usted ella form, that's how I make the affirmative to command as well. So if I want to command somebody to talk, I say habla. If I want to command somebody to run, I say corre. If I want to command somebody to write, escribe, and so on and so forth. It's important to take the usted ella form of the present indicative just to make sure that you catch any irregulars. Like, for example, empezar, empieza, right? And by irregular, I just mean a stem changer. All right, now let's talk about irregulars. Irregular to commands, you have to memorize because they do not follow this pattern of the present indicative, usted ella. So, still talking about affirmative to commands, but the irregular ones. And we can memorize the irregular ones by a silly little saying, ven, di, sad, as, ten, ve, bon, se. So the silly saying is supposed to be Vin Diesel has 10 weapons, but you have to say it in a Russian accent for it to work. Vin Diesel has 10 weapons. So these are the verbs venir, decir, salir, hacer, tener, ir, poner, and ser. And that's how you command somebody to come, say, leave, do or make, have, go, put, and be. So those are affirmative to commands. Now let's talk about negative to commands. Make sure you draw a line in your notes between affirmative to commands and negative to commands because the way you form them are totally different. Negative to commands have a formula to follow. Step 1 of the formula is, I like to call it go to yo. So again, you're going to think of what the present indicative form is of the verb, and you're going to go to yo. You're going to put it in the yo form. So, for example, the verb poner, the yo form would be pongo. Step 2, drop the yo. So if I was doing the verb poner, this would become pong. Step 2b, check if it's a car, gar, or zar verb. If it is a car, gar, or zar verb, you have to make a spelling change, and it's the same spelling change as preterite. C changes to QU, G changes to GU, and Z changes to C. And then step 3, you add the opposite vowel ending. So poner is not a car, gar, zar, so I don't have to do step 2b. By the opposite vowel ending, what I mean is if the verb ends in AR, you're going to switch the ending to ES. But if the verb ends in ER or IR, you're going to switch the ending to AS. So the negative to command of poner would become poner as, no pongas. which means don't put. I'll do a couple other examples just so you can see step 1, step 2, step 3. If I wanted to do the verb hablar, like to tell somebody don't talk, go to yo. Hablo, drop the yo. Habla, check and see if it's cargar are. Hablar is not a cargar or are verb. So the command would end up being no hables, which means don't talk. And then let me just show you a cargar are verb. Like let's say the verb was comenzar, go to yo. Comienzo, drop the yo. Comienz. Step 2b, check if it's cargars are. It is. Make the spelling change. Comienz. C goes to C. And then comenzar starts with an AR. I need to add the opposite vowel. So I would tell somebody, no comiences. Don't start. No comiences. Don't start. Tell that to somebody today that's being annoying. All right, and then for negative 2 commands, so still negative, but irregular, there are some irregulars that you have to memorize in negative 2 commands. And you can memorize them one of 2 ways, either by rhyming or by acronym. I'll give you the rhyme first. All right, so no vayas, no vayas, no seas, no sepas, no des, no estés. So this is the verb haber, ir, ser, saber, dar, and estar. And they rhyme hayas, vayas, seas, sepas, des, estés. So that's one way you can memorize the negative 2 commands, or you can do it using the acronym DISHES. With DISHES, it's just the verb. So this is dar, ir, ser, haber, estar, saber. So then we have no des, no vayas, no seas, no hayas, no estés, no sepas. And really, considering we're doing commands, it's like we're telling people not to do something. Probably the only ones that you would actually see commanded are don't give, don't go, don't be, don't be. You probably wouldn't see somebody command haber or saber at this point. All right, so that's affirmative 2 commands and negative 2 commands, and we're going to practice those in class A.